Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Raw Law Unfiltered with your favorite host, the DUI Guy Plus. Today, right now, doing a second live in a row today, we have a very anticlimactic ending. Very anticlimactic. After 10 weeks of trial, five days of deliberations, 26 hours worth of deliberations. The jury just came back moments ago and said, Judge, we can't decide. Let's listen to them. Let's listen to their words. This is how the jury put it.
Thank you. Be seated. Closing session.
22-117 Commonwealth versus Karen Reed.
All right, the jury is at an impasse. So we'll bring them in.
At least we have finality. So for people who have been waiting, we've been waiting for a whole week, it feels like. We finally have, if nothing else, even a hung jury, even no answer is an answer. Karen Reed looks so disappointed. I don't blame her. I would have been too. She kind of smiled at them. Or maybe it was her family. I'm not sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, everybody. There's Turtle Boy in the back. He looks so worried.
Closing session. Please be seated.
All right, Mr. Foreman, I am in receipt of your note.
Me?
Judge Cannoni, despite our rigorous efforts, we continue to find ourselves at an impasse.
Despite our rigorous efforts, we continue to find ourselves at an impasse.
Our perspectives on the evidence are starkly divided.
Our perspectives on the evidence, okay? The way that each and every single one of us collectively views the evidence are starkly divided. We have a division amongst ourselves, they're saying, in the way that we view the evidence. Now listen to these next words.
Some members of the jury firmly believe that the evidence surpasses the burden of proof, establishing the elements of the charges beyond a reasonable doubt.
Some members of the jury believe that the evidence surpasses beyond a reasonable doubt standard of all of the elements of the offense charged. However,
conversely, others find the evidence fails to meet this standard and does not sufficiently establish the necessary elements of the charges. The deep division is not due to a lack of effort or diligence, but rather a sincere adherence to our individual principles and moral convictions. To continue to deliberate would be futile and only serve to force us to compromise these deeply held beliefs.
to continue to deliberate would be futile and would force us to compromise our deeply held beliefs.
I'm going to do that to you folks. Your service is complete. I'm declaring a mistrial in this case. I'll be in to see you privately in a few minutes. So thank you so much for your service. Okay.
That's it. Mistrial. Now, they said some, but I wonder if that was to protect, if it is one individual, it is not beyond the pale. It is not beyond the pale to think that they just said some to protect that one person.
Thank you. Be seated. Court is still in session.
All right, I'd like to pick a status date to find out what our next move is. So I'd like to come back sometime maybe the end of July. I understand people have vacation schedules. Can we come in the week of the 21st?
That's fine.
Could we do the 22nd at 2 p.m. Ron? And I would hear from my client.
Right, is there another day that week? Could you do the 25th or 26th?
Unfortunately, I think I'm supposed to leave the vacation on the 25th.
Okay, the 22nd and the 24th are not great dates. So
What about okay. What about the 19th at 9? Is that whole week?
no, that week's not good. Teaching that I cannot get out of.
Can we do August 7th, 8th, 9th? Any of those days?
No, we'll do the 22nd. We'll go back to the 22nd at 2. I can't let it go that long.
Your Honor, so the court knows, Ms. Lulu and I are not available on the 22nd. We had a hearing in Los Angeles on the 22nd.
Okay.
We're proposing to appear remotely anyway.
Okay.
But for a status conference, I don't want the court to think it's disrespectful to the court, but Ms. Lulu and I probably will not.
Okay.
His poor mom, John
So
O'Keefe's
you and your
mom.
client will be here in person, Ms. Giannetti.
So Yannetti will be in court on the 22nd with Karen Reed. Jackson and Little are going to be in LA.
Thank you. We'll see you then.
All rise.
This is absolutely wild, folks. Oh, by the way,
Rise.
somebody said that John O'Keefe said something to Karen Reed. Did anybody else see that? Watch, not John O'Keefe, sorry, Paul O'Keefe.
And now we have an official ruling in the Karen.
Did you see that? He like,
All rise.
or did he say that later? No, I think he said it
Now
later.
we have an official ruling in the Karen Reed murder trial. It is a mistrial declared.
I don't know if
You
it
see
was
there
captured
Karen
by the
Reed
camera or
hugging
not.
Her father shaking Alan Jackson's hand. Behind him in the red tie is attorney David Yannetti. And you can see off with their backs turned, that would be the O'Keefe family, who seemed, that's his mother right there in the blue and white striped shirt in the far background that you can see also hugging. They seemed rather emotional today. A mistrial after 2 notes. The first one came in at 11:30, saying in part, we find
There's
ourselves.
Paul.
after
I
2
don't know.
notes,
I
the
didn't
first
see
one
him.
Came in
Yeah,
at
he said
11:30,
something.
saying in part, we find
He
ourselves
said
divided
something.
by
He mumbled
fundamental
something.
differences in our opinions. That
But I don't know what it was. I don't know if anybody. I just sent a zoomed in version to you on Twitter. Yeah, he probably said something, but we don't know what it is. He definitely turned his face, and several people. And look at Karen's face. She reacted to it. Karen's face reacted to it. She clearly. Look at her face here. Let me go back. Watch her
divergence
face.
in our views is guided by fundamental differences in 30, saying
Right
a
here.
mistrial after 2 notes. The first one came in at 11:30, saying in part.
Yeah, she did that to him. He probably said something like "Go f yourself" or something.
Ourselves divided by fundamental
It was too
differences
brief.
in
It was
our
too
opinions.
quick.
The divergence in our
Die
views
in
is
hell.
not
I mean, there's
rooted
so
in
many
a lack
different
of
things he could have possibly said.
but deeply held convictions that each of us carry, ultimately leading to a point where consensus is unattainable. The judge, however, Judge Canotti, sending the jury back using the Tui Rodriguez rule. It's also known as the dynamite charge, which has her strictly saying to them, please, there is no jury who can do a better job than you can we need a verdict in this case. They came back then at 2:30, and the note says, despite rigorous efforts, our perspectives are firmly
The Commonwealth has
divided, and
officially
they
announced that they will be retrying the Karen Reed case after the hung jury today. There will be another trial, according to the DA's spokesperson. Wow. How? With what? The amount of inconsistencies, the level of insufficiency of the evidence that they have in this case, how do they plan to overcome that? Do you realize, folks, all these people who have taken the stand, who have lied on the witness stand? Think of it, like Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, Allie McCabe, Colin Albert, Brian Higgins, Trooper Proctor. Every single one of those people who lied through their teeth as they testified in the Karen Reed case over the last 10, 11 weeks, they now have to retestify. Just because the Commonwealth announced that they're going to retry doesn't mean they're actually going to retry, by the way. Just because they said it doesn't mean they're going to go for it, because they may change their mind. But the fact that they're saying they're going to retry her, they're trying to maintain, they don't want to give her a minute to breathe. They don't want to give Karen a minute to like catch her breath, because now she's finally like, well, at least I get to go home and enjoy this. No, you don't get to enjoy this, bitch. You know, it's like kind of like that kind of attitude. It's really annoying. It's really annoying. They're not giving Karen a chance to breathe. I hope so too, scrambled egg, that the FBI will move in quietly and investigate this. I mean, this is crazy. Also, I really want to see if any of the jurors are going to be doing interviews. I know people have been kind of saying, you know, Larry, it would be awesome if you got an interview. And I'll be glad to. If they reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to. If they find my channel, if they feel comfortable with my persona to come on and interview. But I'm not putting money on it. If anything, I hope that they do an interview with like a station, like NBC, you know, Fox, CBS. Yeah, I'm gonna follow this Adventurous Words. Absolutely, I will. I'm gonna be following this all the way to the end. So don't be mistaken. This is not the end. Apparently, everybody was hoping. Like, I really do. You? Is it just me, or do you all feel like there's a little like rock in your gut? Because I thought even with a hung jury, it's still kind of a conclusion to the case, at least for now. I don't feel like the case has been concluded even for now. I feel like there's something weighing heavily upon me, and I can't explain what it is. Yeah, I want to know the tally as well. I really want to know what their split is. Next week is Alex's turn. The next court date is going to be alive. I'm very, very certain. July 22nd, they're going to have cameras in the courtroom. There's no reason not to. People are saying 6-6, 9-3, 11-1. I mean, just since the beginning, it's all been conjecture. I don't know if anybody will interview with Turtle Boy. I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to see him get an interview with one of the jurors. I really do, but I don't think they're going to interview with him. I think he's just potentially too much of a liability, but he is the most well-known in this case. And he said he just announced, was it yesterday, that there's going to be a Hollywood movie made about this the Karen Reed case. I'm like, already? This case is not even done yet. It's going to be, the can of worms is going to be reopened. How can you make a movie on something that is still pending? You know what I mean? Ay. Knight of Knee says, oh, sorry. Thank you for being a member for 2 months. Also says, pick up some merch at the DUI Guy store. Thank you for that. And gifted some memberships. You're the best. Shout out if you got a membership from Knight of Knee. Ms. Brazy says, I'm new here. Love your channel and your commentary. Thank you very much, Ms. Brazy. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you. Oh, thanks, Roro Mad. I appreciate you. God, Alec Baldwin is not going to be as satisfying now. I was really hoping that this case would come to like a full end. And instead, we're stuck with a hung jury. Because see, Alec Baldwin, I have no dog in the fight. I really don't give a damn what happens to the guy. With Karen Reed, I got to meet her family. I got to meet Karen. I got to meet Alan Jackson. I got to meet David Yannetti. I've been texting with her family, for God's sake. I've been texting with her cousin Noah and her sister Kelly. I got to know these people a little bit. They're good people. Good to neshama, as they say in Yiddish. Good souls. And yet, maybe that's why I'm so heavy-hearted. I don't know. Because I really wanted closure for this family. I really wanted closure for this family. And they didn't get a chance to get that closure that they wanted. A mistrial is a mistrial is a mistrial. It's still a victory. It's still a victory for the defense, no matter how you look at it. I mean, I hate to break it to you, folks. Who are maybe in the, the opposite end of the spectrum, who are wanting a conviction. There are a few of those out there. I know who you are. But the reality of the situation is, I still feel that justice, although it may not have been done, like per se, I still feel like we have just enough to be satiated. Because it means, what does it mean? It means we've had at least some people voting not guilty, right? We've had several people voting not guilty. Since we've had several people voting not guilty and several people voting guilty, that means there's a chance, right? Otherwise, she would have been already convicted on at least. They couldn't decide on the main charge, the lessers, or not guilty. They could not all agree, let's go with that one. And that is huge, actually. Like, the more I think about it, because they had 4 options to choose from. Guilty, not guilty, guilty on the main, guilty on lesser 1, guilty on lesser 2. That's 4 to choose from. And all 12 have to agree on one of those 4, okay? Unanimity is the key. So the fact that they couldn't, all 4 of them go, yes, not guilty, or yes, all 12 saying, guilty on the main, guilty on the lessers. This is what happens when people who believe the government implicitly end up on a jury. And now it's going to be even more difficult to find an unbiased jury. They're going to have to change venue. There's no way they can find an unbiased jury that has never heard of this case. Oh, Paul, Christoper, or I forget his last name. Paul was on the thing.
Longer than that, Yannetti said for us all along. Kirsten, how have things been outside the courtroom after this announcement?
God is angry.
JC, as soon as the announcement came down that this was in fact a mistrial, we did hear a round of applause, but also a lot of different emotions from people in the Free Karen Read movement. A lot of people had been anticipating this as the outcome of this trial, but obviously it wasn't what everybody wanted. Now, I am here with Paul Christoper, who has been organizing a lot of the Free Karen Read movement throughout all of this. What is your initial reaction right now?
My initial reaction was there wasn't a guilty sentence in there. Out of the 12 people that were in there, they couldn't find enough people to find her guilty. And it was a mistrial, not because of illegal fraud, not because they couldn't convince 12 people that Karen Read is guilty.
Is that for you, or is this what you expected? What's going through your mind?
My initial expression was automatic, not guilty. But as we learned this case, nothing happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's true, Paul.
Am I satisfied with it? Not.
I met him. He's a really nice guy.
Yes. But do I want more? Absolutely.
Now, what are you looking forward to moving forward? Where do things go for your movement from here? I know a lot of people have been saying they're going to stand by Karen no matter what happens.
Yeah. As far as our movement goes, we are going to stand by Karen. We do have some more work to do. We learned a lot of stuff that happened during this trial.
Oh,
within the
touche.
Mass State Police and Norfolk District Attorney's Office, and we're going to move forward with that.
I've also been
Wait, were they
speaking
going to
with a lot
move
of
forward
people
with what? Sorry?
We learned a lot of stuff that happened during this trial within the Mass State Police and Norfolk District Attorney's Office, and we're going to move forward with that.
Oh, I like that. Paul is saying they learned a lot about the DA's office and the Massachusetts State Police, and they're going to move forward with that. Oh, man. I like this a lot.
I've also been speaking with a lot of people in the group, and a lot of them do not think that this case is going to be retried. Have you put thought into that? Is that something that you would like to see happen, not happen? Where are we on that point?
I don't think the case will be retried. There's not enough evidence. It's a lot of money for the state. They're probably going to lose some of their key witnesses for some of their behavior. What I really want to see happen is to reopen the case and find the true killers of Officer John O'Keefe.
Paul, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll catch up with you in a little bit. I do also want to add that there were a number of people here earlier today opposing those in the Free Karen Read movement. A lot of them saying they also wanted justice for John O'Keefe, but that justice looked a lot different than what the Free Karen Read group had wanted. We did also hear a lot of talk about the federal investigation into this case. That is still ongoing at this point. So a lot of people, especially in the Free Karen Read movement, did want to see more come of that as we move forward. But obviously a very developing situation here in Dedham. I'm going to send it back to you inside this.
All right, NBC 10's Kirsten Glavin. Kirsten, as you were working to get reaction from folks on the ground there in Dedham, we learned in the last 6 minutes that the Commonwealth will retry this case. So that is something that we're going to get reaction to as the afternoon progresses. Let's go back to NBC 10 legal analyst Michael Coyne. Michael, now.
Okay. My girlfriend, Chandler, whom I will name by name, because she has a name. My current GF, we're just going to limit her to 2 letters. My GF, no, I'm just kidding. Chandler just came in and said something brilliant. He said, if the feds indict someone else in their investigation, Karen Reed's indictment is just going to fizzle out. And basically, this is my addition, the district attorney's words that they will retry the case will become completely and utterly meaningless. Which is 100% true. Think about it. If the feds indict, let's say, I don't know, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Brian Higgins. Okay, let's just throw it out there. Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Brian Higgins. Now, I'm not saying that's going to mean that they're guilty. But the fact that they're indicted is going to put a giant wrench on Morrissey's ability to prosecute Karen Reed. Think about it. Imagine Colin Albert has to testify while he's pending investigation in an indictment in another case. He's never going to testify in a million years. And can they try the case without him? Sure. Do they need him? No. But without him testifying, is it going to look really, really bad for the government? Absolutely. Imagine trying the same case, but you remove Colin Albert's testimony, Brian Albert's testimony, and Brian Higgins' testimony. Think about what it does to the case, how much it would cripple the case. Those are the primary suspects. So we'll see what happens if the FBI steps in and starts throwing indictments. What if we find Chloe Albert, the dog? Oh, Proctor. Yes, of course. Proctor is going to be named 100%. Sorry. If the lead investigator is indicted, he can't testify. I mean, he can, but it's going to be devastating to his own defense, to his own prosecution on the federal level. Oh my God, this case is such a mess. Oh God. They thought they were completely untouchable, and that has proved to be wrong. There is no statute of limitations because it's a felony. Murder is a felony. Jennifer McCabe is probably going to be indicted as well. I forgot about her. There's so many inconsistencies. Whoever's going to be retrying this case on behalf of Karen Reed is going to have to dig through they're going to have to hire an entire team. These are not just lawyers. You're going to have to hire somebody to literally watch this trial, write down every tiny little fact, see where it's inconsistent, where it's inconsistent, who says something different, and then at the retrial, every single one of the statements that was made during this trial can be used to impeach if it's going to be inconsistent at the retrial. I mean, it's madness. It is such a mountain of work. I can't even, oh my God, my head is hurting just thinking about it. What would they be indicted for? Murder. Conspiracy to commit murder and hide it after the fact. For them, it's going to be murder. For her, it was manslaughter because their theory was she didn't know, right? She didn't know. She had no idea. So if Colin Albert, because who are our primary suspects? If Colin Albert, Brian Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Brian Higgins, and Michael Proctor, right? Those are our main players. Get indicted. It will be for It will not be for manslaughter or manslaughter, as we lawyers like to joke around sometimes because it's spelled the same way. It will not be for manslaughter. It will be for murder in the first or second degree. Because it was not intentional. Intent is the key operative word. And no one is going to be charged with perjury. Why? Why is nobody going to be charged with perjury? Because Lally doesn't care. Morrissey doesn't care. Change of venue is what I'm thinking too. JWH78. I think a change of venue is going to be needed. There is no way in hell that there's not a single resident of Dedham County, Massachusetts, or the city of Dedham, whatever, Canton, Dedham, whatever, who has not heard of this case at this point. Everybody and their mother has been talking about it. The juror's life was put on pause. Now they finally get a chance to open the can of worms. They finally get to open up social media. They can go on X, they can go on Facebook, they can go on YouTube and watch videos about this case and what people have been saying about this case. I hope she gets a new judge. So yeah, she can get a new judge. I mean, Judge Bev is never going to recuse herself. That's never going to happen. But if they change venue, I mean, maybe it's going to come with a new judge. It's going to be a neighboring county. They're not going to go to a different state. That's for sure. It's just going to be in a neighboring county. Jacqueline Weaver, thank you for being a member for 18 months. Ms. Brainsy, thank you for joining on as a member. I love you. Thank you so much. A new person joining us. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And join on as a member like Ms. Brazy and Callista Corb also. Thank you so much for joining on as a member. Florida Dad says it's a win by decision when we expected a knockout. Yeah, kind of. It's still not a win. That's the thing. I'm sorry. It's still not like a decision because it's a non-decision is also a decision. I'll grant you that. It's still a win because it's not a guilty, but it's not like a full resolution, right? Like technical knockout, or if your opponent failed to show and you win by default, that's a win. That's like, it's a technical, but it's a win. Here, it's a win and it's technical, but it's not a resolution because they can still bring the charges. You know, you're not going to redo a fight. But I like your analogy. You're on the right path. You're thinking with your brain. I love that. I love that a lot. Alaskan Outdoorsman says, will there be an investigation into the Sallyport inverted video or cops admitting to driving drunk? I think so. I think there absolutely should be. I think that's all part of it. It's all related to that. Certainly. Absolutely. Most certainly. Oh, we have a press conference. We have a press conference.
This trial. And of course, we are private moments. They are considering this a victory for their side.
Where's the bloody...
Oh, absolutely. It's a victory for the defense. I mean, what it means is they were able, remember, they only had to convince one.
I want to hear what he has to say.
Karen Reed was not guilty. And clearly, through this hung jury, they were able to do that.
Are you serious? Okay, hold on. I want to find this. Karen Reed press conference. Sorry? Oh, thank you. My girlfriend is the best. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Here we go. We have a press conference, folks. I was waiting for this. This is what I kept looking for. Here we go. Can y'all see that? Yeah, there we go.
Folks, this is what it looks like when you bring false charges against an innocent person. The Commonwealth did their worst. They brought the weight of the state based on spurious charges, based on compromised investigation and investigators and compromised witnesses. This is what it looks like. And guess what? They failed. They failed miserably, and they'll continue to fail.
Now,
No matter how
listen to
long-
those words. They failed miserably, and they will continue to fail. Those are the words of someone who just walked out of that courtroom victorious, folks. That is someone who has walked out of that courtroom victorious. They won. They know that they won this round because a mistrial, a hung jury, is always a victory for the defense. I kept telling you this. I told you all this from the beginning. A mistrial is going to be a victory, and it is. Listen to Jackson's words. This is not someone who just lost and walked out with a tail behind his between his legs. That's Lally. Lally is walking out with his tail between his legs.
And they'll continue to fail. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long they keep trying, we will not stop fighting. We have no quit. Go ahead.
I just have two things to say, folks. Number one, I am in awe of the strength and courage of this remarkable client that I've had the privilege of representing since day one.
And by the way, that's a real defense attorney. He knows how important it is to bring himself close to a woman that he believes. Because if you show that you believe her, the rest of the world will follow.
And number two, I want to send a message to all of her supporters out there. Your support was invaluable. We are touched.
Invaluable.
We ask for your continued support. I'm not from Texas like my colleague here. I'm a Boston kid, but I'll repeat what he said, which is we ain't got no quit.
We ain't got no quit. I love that. I love that. Wow. What powerful words. Oh, man. Oh, man. Fraud Wrangler says, just wanted to tell you how much I respect how you honor your oath, defend your clients the way you do, sir. Thank you, sir. You're a good man and a great lawyer. I will buy you that drink next month. I don't drink alcohol, so don't buy me any drinks, but thank you. THC is as far as I go. I am sober. I don't do alcohol. I will never drink alcohol as long as I live. Even THC, I prefer not in high doses. It's just something to mellow you out. CBD, THC, you know, the good stuff that kids do these days. The stuff that doesn't mess with your head, doesn't scramble your brain. Like alcohol does. Alcohol is a poison. Alcohol is a killer. High and dry, baby. Bombshell about the Jennifer McCabe's 911 call when they say that they flipped him over so he wasn't on his back. Bombshell about the Jennifer McCabe 911 call when she says they flipped him over so he wasn't on his back. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Was there inconsistency? I remember there was something about how he was laying on his stomach and they flipped him over or something like that, or laying on his back and they flipped him. I can't remember. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know if it's a bombshell or not. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm missing something. StarZ, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Jenny Norlen, thank you for the 56. This leaves a sour taste, she says. There's something rotten in the state of Massachusetts. You and me both, woman. I agree with you 100%. 100%. How long until Jen and the crew are tried for murder? Yeah, right? That's a good question. Skylord says, if they go to a different account, what is the restriction on protesters still be in a friend? Seems like it's cut off. But if they go to a different jurisdiction, I think is what you're asking. If they go to like a different county, if they go to a different county, I mean, if it's going to be the same judge, it's probably going to be the same ruling on the protesters. But if it's going to be a new judge, who knows? Right? If it's going to be a new judge, the new judge can make their own determination to make a restriction or to lift restriction. You know what I mean? So it's up in the air. Great questions, by the way. Great questions. Julie Gibson, thank you for being a member for 20 months. And Wendy Bono, thank you for being a member for 3 months. BAS 4241 says, thank you, Larry. My wife and I are enjoying. Thank you so much. Do you think they will bring it to civil court? Says Dan Davis. Do I think who will bring what to civil court? Like a lawsuit against the government? You got to get that not guilty first. Once you get a not guilty, that's when you can bring a civil lawsuit. That's much more likely. But it's probably expired by now. It's been 2.5 years. So if it hasn't been brought yet, so probably not. So is Karen Reed going to sue the government civilly? I mean, she can sue. Wait a second. That's actually a good question. Karen Reed can sue Morrissey and Lally and what's her name, McLaughlin, for malicious prosecution. That's still on the table. That's a good question. Is it McLaughlin? What was the name of that prosecutor? I forget her name. The female prosecutor who sat at Lally's table. Is it McLaughlin? Is it McLaughlin or Laughlin? McLaughlin. Thank you. That's what I thought. Thank you, folks. That's a really good question. Now, is she going to go for it? I mean, I would, but that's a lot of work, and her life is already on pause because of awaiting the retrial on this case. Laura McLaughlin. Thank you, folks. Malicious prosecution is an understatement. Yeah, they went the whole 9 yards, didn't they? Could Jennifer McCabe and the cohorts be charged with tampering? Yes. As well as murder? Yes. Also, we need a new judge because Bev is wild. Yes, 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 and yes. J Sunshine 013. I agree with everything you said. Is Karen still on bond? Yes, till the retrial, or is it over? No, she's still out on bond, Margaret here. She's still going to be released on bond. There's no indication that the prosecution is going to be asking to increase bond. There's been no reason to do so, and it's probably not going to happen. Brother Wrangler says, no disrespect intended. I know, brother. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're all good. From generation where buying a drink was a sign of respect and appreciation. And it used to be. Alcohol used to be like this, thing that everybody did. So don't feel bad, man. Like, come on. Chill. It's all good, man. It is all good. It is all good. How about I'll get you some gummies. I actually prefer. I don't like gummies. That's another thing. They mess me up too much. They mess me up a little too much. But I mean, on occasion I will indulge. It's not one of those. Now mushrooms. Now that's a whole different ball game. I'll do those about like once a year, just because they free your mind. They bring perspective to your life. Anything that's natural, anything that I can pick out of the ground and put in my mouth. I know it's grown on cow shit, but who cares? Whatever. Anything that I can take out of the ground and immediately consume, to me, is fair game. You know, anything that needs to be processed is always bad. It's always bad. Reina says, have you seen Truth Revealed by a Former Fed? Yes, I have. I haven't watched the whole thing. People have been sending me links, and I appreciate you. But I don't what's it called? I haven't seen the full video. I didn't watch it. I just didn't have the time. I've been too busy. Who interprets body language and verbiage. He's new to YouTube in the Read case. He's only got like 7,000 subscribers, and he's growing astronomically fast. He did a Jennifer McCabe and Higgins testimony, and it's incredible. I love that. I really love that. Does the name Joe Navarro mean anything to any of you? It looks like my director of business development is watching me admit all of my crimes because I'm his boss. Hey, Logan, get back to work. Why aren't you working, Logan? I don't even need to text you. I can literally talk to you, man. Like, you're right there. THC and psilocybin. That is the only things that your boss does. Maybe that's why he's so happy. You ever think about that? Yeah? Ma? I know you can. That's why I'm talking to you. Oh, goodness me. Like I said, I've absolutely no shame whatsoever when it comes to that stuff, because I believe that anything that's natural is completely should never be banned. You'll see, psilocybin is going to be legal one day. It's already legal in Colorado. But yeah, so the Truth Revealed, go check out that channel. He's really good, from what I hear. I've only seen like a few seconds of his stuff, but I understand that he did like a full. Oh, Noah was in court today. Oh, nice. Noah was in court today. Look at this shot. Oh, that is so gorgeous. Kelly took this shot. Isn't that awesome? That's the view from the back. This is when they were doing the press conference. That is amazing. Tobin T says that when OJ was found not guilty, he was sued civilly by the family. Could Karen Reed be sued by John O'Keefe's family too? Sure. Yeah, if that's what you mean. Yeah. Can that happen? Sure, but I don't think it's going to happen. They don't have enough proof. Did you find out if Bev rents McCabe's beach house, says Diamonds and Hina? No, I did not find that out. I was supposed to look. I'm sorry if I am disappointing you. The bombshell is on the YouTube channel Truth. So that's what we just talked about, said Reno Silzino. Truth and Transparency channel has the bombshell. Got you. Okay. Mag in Florida says, I'm waiting for the FBI and others investigation. Should be interesting. Hopefully we get a new venue and a new judge. Alcoholism runs rampant with cops. Ooh, yeah. Have you noticed, by the way, that, I mean, these are grown men. These are grown men who are hanging out at the local pub in their 40s and 50s playing grab ass, practicing fighting stances, and that's their go-to. When the day is out, they go to the bar and drink together. Drink, and be merry. Is that, I have a hair. Is that what grown men are supposed to be doing after they're done with work? It doesn't make any sense. What are you, 22? Are you in college? What are you, 20? That's what college kids do. They when they're done with class, they go, hey, let's go to the bar, let's pick up some women, whatever. That's what 20-year-olds do. That's not what grown men in their 40s and 50s are supposed to be doing. At least that's my opinion. I mean, feel free to agree, disagree. I don't know what the rest of you think about that. Please feel free to let me know in the comments below, in the chat right now, if you're live. If you're with us live, I mean. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I know. I'm the one where I am more mature wearing my bloody Rick and Morty shirt than those grab assers at the frickin' bar. Like, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That's a great point, Aaron. I'm sitting here wearing Rick and Morty shirt doing legal analysis, whereas they're just going to the bar to get drunk and play grab ass. And plus, Rick and Morty is a fantastic show, okay? It's my own personal biased opinion. I love you, Aaron. Thank you so much for the comment. Oh. See, even Logan, who's watching me right now, he's got kids. I know he's got a son, at least. I should know more about this. I know he's got more than one. I go home and spend time being a good dad and husband and trying to keep up with household items. I'd rather have a few drinks and play grab ass with my wife instead of some dude. He's got 2 sons. I knew it was more than one. Thank you, Logan. I'm just trying to get you to laugh on your live at this point. I know, because you already did it once. So now you're just trying to get me going. By the way, where's everybody from? Shout out in the comments below in the chat if you're live, where you're from. But let's talk a little bit more about Karen Reed. So it's very interesting. Can she still sue for malicious prosecution? And by the way, what other charges? Let's start here. What other charges can Colin Albert, Brian Higgins, Jennifer McCabe, and Trooper Proctor get other than a murder charge? So conspiracy, destruction of evidence, right? What's the official charge? I always call it destruction of evidence. It's not spoliation of evidence. Somebody said it in the comments earlier, and I forgot. Not perjury. But there's like a specific charge, and I just can't think of it. obstruction of justice, tampering. Thank you. Tampering with physical evidence. There you go. Tampering with physical evidence. That's the official like language that is usually in the statutes that's found in the books, right? Tampering with physical evidence because they tampered with the body. They took the body, allegedly, right? At this point, I think it's everything but allegedly. They took John's body, they put him outside, and then they dragged him to the front of the house, and then they just left him there. So let's make a list. Okay, so murder 1, murder first or second, conspiracy, tampering with physical evidence, perjury. I mean, perjury is still on the table because they obviously lied in court over and over and over again. What else? What else can they be charged with? Yes, we know there's going to be a retrial. Thank you, Monica. Murder, conspiracy, tampering, perjury. Well, false statements, obstruction of justice. I mean, that's an obvious one. Obstruction of justice. What else? Having an annoying accent. Yes. Falsifying records. I like that one. Falsifying government, we'll call it government records. I like that one a lot. That's a really good one. Simulation of a legal process. Tampering with witnesses. Oh, that's right. Witness tampering. I like that one. And then somebody else said there was another one. DUI, yeah, obviously. Animal cruelty. Oh, I like that. What else? There was another one. Hiding evidence-based. Illegal business, no. Corruption, that's not really a charge. There's another one I saw it and now I lost it. RICO is so hard to prove. I don't think anyone should be charged with RICO. RICO is like planting evidence is the same as tampering. Tampering with physical evidence encompasses all of that. MAG in Florida, yeah. RICO is just it's way too hard to prove. Like, what are the elements of RICO? It must be shown that the defendant agreed to commit the substantive racketeering offense through agreeing to participate in 2 racketeering acts, you need more than one, that he knew the general status of the conspiracy and that he knew the conspiracy extended beyond his individual role. I mean, it's so hard to prove. It is a racketeer influenced and corrupt organizations act. It's usually, I mean, it's brought against mafiosos. Wire fraud. Oh, that's a good one. Wire fraud, because the means that they used. Wire fraud is so easy. Mail fraud, obviously using the mail system. Bribery. Well, that's tampering with witnesses. Witness tampering. I think we have enough. I think this is good enough. I think we got enough. Welcome, Journey of Joy. Thank you for joining on as a member. Adrienne Elizabeth says, being from the area, I can tell you that it's the Boston co-op mentality. Boston co-op. To do what? To be a lying scumbag? You know what I'm saying? It's so sad. It's so sad how far we've come. Very disappointing. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still happy. It seems so. I messaged with Kelly Reed. Kelly is Karen's sister. She said she's doing great. Karen is not guilty. And as long as she is not in jail, we're going to continue keep fighting the good fight. Not as long as, remove that language, but just she is not in jail, period. And we're going to continue fighting. That's it. And you know what? I love that. I absolutely love that. Because family is everything, number one. And number two, if nothing else, Karen has such a great support system. I know she has way more than that, but she has such a great support system that I believe she is going to have a very, I shouldn't say very, but relatively easy time as she continues to move on through life. You know what I mean? Because when you have such a large and powerful support system, I think that psychologically, think about it. Psychologically, it just does something to you. You know what I mean? It allows you to move forward unabated. And I think that's very, very important. That's very, very important. And it is necessary to have that in your life. It allows you to be strong when you're supported. Lindsay G. Hey, Lindsay, how are ya? She was the former juror that we had on the channel. If you missed that episode, by the way, what are you doing? Go check out our channel. It's in the, I believe, let me think here. I believe wait a minute. I need to move it, actually. Excuse me. Not move it. It's like in the Karen Reed. And I also need to add it to interviews because I interviewed her. So it's going to be in 2 playlists. Lindsay, thank you for the super chat. You're lovely. And thank you for coming on. She says, thank you to all of your subs who have been so kind to me following the live. That is awesome. Clearly, this is the best group on YouTube. Oh, shucks. Oh, shucks. You had to throw that in there, didn't you? Oh. I apologize for speaking fast and not enunciating my words. I was so nervous. Don't worry about it. This is what I was here for. I said, hey, Lindsay, remember I said that? You're at about a 7. I need you at about a 3. Did you know I was getting shit for that too, by the way? People were like commenting and I'm like, you do realize I was guiding her. I was trying to help her. And people were like, you were really mean to your guest. Like, you need to stop. I'm like, this is her first time ever being on stream. So I was giving her a helping hand and it all worked out. She didn't mind. Allison Houston says corruption is deep. Crystal Rogers case in Kentucky, too. I don't know that case. I'm in Kentucky, and I have not heard anything about it. Can anyone answer my question? I don't know what your question is, Amadi. The chat is moving fairly fast, so I'm not going to slow it down. There's no reason for that. But what is your question, if you don't mind re-asking it? Maybe I can help you. I'm hoping Alan Jackson is going to represent Karen Reed in the retrial, Alicia Rose Harvey. I'm with you with that 100%. 100%. Oh, I found your question. There you go. Why didn't ARCA dudes get the actual data from Karen's Lexus? I don't know the answer. That I don't know the answer to. I'm a little surprised that they didn't because it's easily accessible. It is easily accessible to them. And if you're just joining us, the verdict is, drum roll please. I'm joking. Hung jury. They cannot decide. New York Post article. Oh, I want to see this. New York Post article, David Yannetti states it is an accident. What? I'm confused. We've already heard this. We're not going to rehear it. Karen Reed case ends in a mistrial. DA vows to retry her for murder of cop boyfriend. It's not murder, it's manslaughter. But yeah. Dedham, Massachusetts, the Karen Reed case has ended in a mistrial after 5 days of jury deliberations, but prosecutors said they will retry Reed for the alleged murder of her Boston cop boyfriend in January of 22. Judge Beverly Cannoni ruled Monday that the deadlocked jury in Dedham, Massachusetts is not able to reach a unanimous verdict after jurors sent her notes on Friday and again on Monday that they disagree. They disagree because of deeply held convictions that each of us carry. The jury foreman, Giggity, in his final note to the judge said, our perspectives on the evidence are starkly divided. Some members of the jury firmly believe that the evidence surpasses the burden of proof establishing the elements of the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Conversely, others find the evidence fails to meet the standard and does not sufficiently establish the necessary elements of the charges. The foreman added, this deep division is not due to a lack of effort or diligence, but rather a sincere adherence to our individual principles and moral codes. To continue to deliberate would be futile and only serve to force us to compromise these deeply held beliefs. Cannoni's response was simple. I am not going to I'm not going to do that to you folks. Your service is complete. I am declaring a mistrial in this case. Thank you so much for your service. The jurors said they were deadlocked and could not reach a unanimous decision, a situation in trials often referred to as a hung jury. As a result, the judge declared a mistrial. Norfolk District Attorney Michael Morrissey said immediately after the ruling that he plans to retry Reed. The sensational 2-month trial featured stunning revelations, including crowds of fawning Reed supporters who cheered her on outside court each day. The lead investigator on the case texted a friend saying he was a babe and a whack job, CUNT. See you next Tuesday. After the ruling, the crowd outside cheered and screamed, yelling, "Free Karen Reed." Reed's lawyer declared victory to the crowd following the ruling, with the defendant by his side. Victim John O'Keefe's mother wipes away tears after Cannoni declared a mistrial. This is what it looks like when you bring false charges against an innocent person. The Commonwealth did their worst, Alan Jackson said. They brought the weight of the state based on spurious charges, based on compromised investigations, and investigators and compromised witnesses. This is what it looks like. Guess what? They failed. The jurors, 6 men and 6 women, were tasked with deciding whether Reed, 44, backed over Boston police officer John O'Keefe with her Lexus SUV and then leaving him to die in the cold outside a home in Canton on January 29, 2022. These are a lot of the Reed supporters. I met a lot of these people. There's Paul, by the way. You can see Paul in the background there. She was charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, while in operation of a motor vehicle, that's a typo, under the influence and leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. She faced up to life in prison if she had been convicted on the top count of murder. The night of O'Keefe's death, the couple had been out on a bar crawl with Reed allegedly consuming 7 drinks in just 90 minutes. Prosecutors said Reed was accused of drunkenly driving O'Keefe to cop pal Brian Albert's home for a party with a group of officers before mowing him down in a rage and hightailing away. Wow, talk about bias. Then sending a slew of swear-laden voicemails and text messages to her boo. Wow. Wow, New York Post. During the 2-month trial in Norfolk County Superior Court in Denham, Massachusetts, that featured testimony from 74 witnesses, Reed's lawyers argued she is a victim of a frame job carried out by law enforcement in order to cover up that O'Keefe was actually fatally beaten up by his officer friends. The theory has galvanized hundreds, it's not hundreds at this point, folks. It's hundreds of thousands of supporters. But yes, hundreds of supporters to come out to court to advocate for her innocence. Outside court on Monday, supporters said the mistrial should vindicate Reed and the prosecutors should drop the charges. One supporter said, no prospective juror in Norfolk County, a Boston bedroom community, could have avoided the wall-to-wall coverage of the trial, which was live streamed across the internet. I think you'll have a really hard time finding jurors that are, number one, not biased, and number two, not living under a rock, said Stacy Betancourt, 47, who was wearing a red Free Karen tank top. So I'm not sure what your comment means now, Kimmy Love and stuff. New York Post article, David Yannetti states it is an accident. But whatever, I'll take it. Anu Gilston, thank you so much for joining on as a member. Welcome to the channel. But yeah, I do remember that Bass 4241, actually. That's a very, very apt point. Remember how wrong the mainstream media was all along during the Depp case, because they were just spinning their narrative. And unless you were physically in the courtroom at the trial the entire time, I hope maybe I can get media credentials for this trial for next time. Speaking of media credentials, I officially received word from the Administrative Office of the Courts in New Mexico, in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we have a seat. Chandler or I, maybe sometimes both, but I wouldn't count on it. But definitely we have one. We have a seat in the courtroom. Our news organization officially has a seat in the courtroom in the Baldwin case. And Chandler just went by and went, woohoo! So we're going to be in court for the Baldwin case. I'm very, very excited. That's going to be a lot of fun. To change the tune for just a second. Matrix, thank you so much for the 1 gifted. You're awesome. Thank you, Matrix. Shout out if you're the one who were the lucky one that YouTube selected randomly to give the gifted membership to. But yeah, we're very, very excited. We're going to be flying to Santa Fe. James from court, who I just found out has COVID, by the way. The poor guy, we just got over COVID. He probably just caught it. He's gonna be at the Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh. Alec Baldwin. God, too many Alex. Alec Baldwin. He's gonna be in Santa Fe, New Mexico with us. So I'm super stoked. I'm very excited to once again team up with him. He was with us at the Johnny Depp trial. For those of you who remember the Johnny Depp trial in 2022, he was with me. We actually shared a room in South Carolina for the Alec Murdaugh case, and now we're going to be sharing a courtroom, hopefully, in the Alec Baldwin case in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And yeah, he did have Lyme disease previously, the poor kid. He finally just got cleared of it. I mean, that was like devastating. But finally tested negative. A year after he got Lyme disease, he tested negative. That was like a month ago in June. Alec Baldwin. Oh God, that guy. I'm saying right now, I probably need to I probably need to tweet it so people don't think I have the wrong impression. We don't know what the jury split was on the Karen Reed case. Coffees for closes only. What's your name? Levine? You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch? Put that coffee down. Coffees for closers only. A, B, C. A always, B, C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. AIDA. Attention. Do I have your attention? I know you do because it's fuck or walk. Interest. Are you interested? I may have reversed that. AIDA. Get mad, you son of a bitches. Get mad. You know what it takes to sell real estate? It takes brass balls to sell real estate. Do you have what it takes? What's your name? F you. That's my name. You see this watch? You see this watch? That watch cost more than your car. How much money did you make last year, huh? Silence. Your problem is that you're wanting. You drove a Hyundai here today. I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name. Oh, man. Glenn Ross. I've watched that movie more times than I'd like to admit. Or at least that clip. It used to be my alarm clock. This is a date just. Yeah. It's funny because I can actually say that line. That watch costs more than your car, and it actually is also applicable. I don't use that line. That's rough. That's mean. I'm not a mean person. You never flaunt your wealth in people's faces. I just run a successful law firm. I got lucky. $80,000, you can't even get a new pickup truck these days. That shows you how old that movie is. That's true. That's very true. Bev should have shared the tally. Not only should she have shared, she should have asked. I still don't know why they didn't ask. I think it was very important for us to know how the jury was divided. Because what if it was like 8-4 or 9-3, 10-2, 11-1? It certainly wasn't 12-0. We know that because it's a hung jury. Oh, thank you so much, dramatically middle-aged. He says, for a lawyer, you're pretty childish. I do like to flaunt my inner child. Thank you for noticing. Wow, not many people notice. Thank you so much. Bev wanted a conviction. I agree, actually. I think she looked very, very disappointed today that the Karen Reed jury decided not to convict. That her pushing them to a verdict not only did not give her a verdict, but also did not give her a verdict she wanted. So we shall see. We shall see how it continues to evolve. Oh. I made a tweet. Why do you feel that there was applause from Karen Reed supporters outside when they found out it is a mistrial? Oh, we found out maybe what Paul O'Keefe said. Paul O'Keefe to Karen Reed as they walked out of the courtroom today. I'm not done with you yet. And his wife, Erin, said something like, knock it off. I'm not done with you yet. Allison Houston, FBI has finally picked it up. That's been news since March. Yes, they have picked it up in March. I don't know anything about the Alexei Tavizio case or the Crystal Rogers case. Oh, sorry. Okay, yes, my bad. So yeah, apparently Paul O'Keefe said to Karen Reed on his way out of the courtroom, I'm not done with you yet, huh? What a child. Has he not been paying attention? I mean, he's friends with the McAlberts, the Alberts and the McCabe's. Somebody said, stop calling them the McAlberts, say their name. I kind of like that, actually. Say their name, Alberts and the McCabe's, so that everybody knows who we're talking about. That's not beyond the pale. I like that. So somebody said, I think the Commonwealth has been put on the spotlight and many believe they will not recharge her, which is not true anymore. That's an outdated tweet. It's a relief. Non-guilty jurors did not cave to a lesser charge. I see it as a win for Karen. Hashtag not guilty. I agree. I guess because as things stand, Karen is presumed innocent. Still, yeah. Commonwealth tried and did not prove that she's guilty. I guess I see what people are saying. Every day she sleeps in her own bed and not behind bars is a win. Because she is not about to spend life in prison. And even if they retry her, the defense's case would only get stronger while the Commonwealth will get weaker. How do they put Trooper Paul back on the stand or find an expert that concludes the taillight causes pattern arm wounds? Exactly. Is it possible that they're seeing the mistrial as a win? That's good. I'm glad that they see that. Because she wasn't found guilty. I'm sure the defense team is disappointed with a hung jury. No, I don't think they are. Also depends on what the split is. Yeah. Because they're there to support Karen Reed. This is not a guilty verdict. This was a win. Yep, I agree. She gets to go home. The Commonwealth didn't prove their case. Okay, I see what people are saying. I was just confused why they would be cheering. Goal number 1 is always no jail. Okay. Okay. Very well. Wow. I love how I asked, what can the McAlberts be charged with by the FBI? Murder first or second, conspiracy, tampering with physical evidence, perjury, obstruction of justice, falsifying government records, witness tampering, animal cruelty, DUI, wire fraud, and mail fraud. And somebody just commented, that's 11, like 1 through 11. And somebody just commented, 12, all the above. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Grab assing real hard. It sounds like Yannetti and Jackson plan on staying on as counsel. That's what it seems like. There's no reason for them not to. Now, another question is, will Karen have to pay again? Probably. I mean, I would charge, honestly. No offense. I would charge. I've tried my clients for a retrial before. I've actually had to do one. We had a mistrial once. God, that's not funny at all. Um, Trooper Proctor Part 6 is going to premiere tonight in an hour and a half. So for those of you who have been following the Trooper Proctor series, I'm very excited to report that we have the next installment premiering very, very shortly on the channel on YouTube, the DUI Guy Plus. So feel free to go check it out in an hour and a half. Also, I'm upgrading my equipment. I currently have the HyperX microphone, but it's not cutting it for me anymore. So for those of you who may be familiar, I bought the Electro Voice RE20. And I'm gonna have like an arm and everything. I'm gonna look all profesh, folks. And I really need to like update my background. My background is just too plain. Do you guys want some stuff in the back, or do you prefer the blank? See, I'm too OCD. I don't want anything in the background. Like I prefer quiet. But do you guys find this boring? Should I like add some more stuff back there? What do you guys think? You guys like it plain? I think plain puts the focus on me, right? Crystal Rogers from Bardstown, almost 10 years now, says Charmaine Fugate. Okay. Wait a minute, Crystal Rogers, wasn't she the one abducted? Better Call Saul style, with like columns and the Constitution in the back. We the people. Crystal Rogers. She was the one, I believe, that was abducted. I can't remember. I remember that name now. It's coming back to me. Matrix, thank you for being a member for almost 2 years. Wow. Says, just want to say how I appreciate you and happy to still be here. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. You've helped me through some difficult times just by streaming, and this coverage was a plus, 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 plus. You're awesome. Thank you so much. We love you, Matrix. We love your contributions, and we love having you here. You've been around since the Johnny Depp trial. The Danish doll says, checking in from Northwest England. Oh, hello. Thank you for your coverage, Larry. Heart. Love you too. Thank you so much, the Danish doll. David Kaplan says, did you see the film The Juror with Alec Baldwin? I want to say no. I've watched a lot of courtroom movies, like Hollywood movies, but never have I seen that one, I don't think. I don't remember. Alfred Wynn Jr. says, can there be new discovery or does all evidence stay exactly the same? Well, they can't change testimony. They can't change the evidence. But what they can do is if something new comes to light or they want to modify like the way they've done an investigation or something, like ex post facto, after the fact, not the government, the defense, yes, not the government. Because if the government decides to change anything, it's going to look really, really, really bad. The defense can approach it from a different perspective, absolutely. No question about it. And I think they should. There's obviously that something was missing. Something was missing. Something was not enough for the jurors to say, hey, not guilty. You know what I mean? Something was missing. We don't know. We don't know. It's 9:37 somewhere. Oh, this is England. Yeah, this is probably in England, right? 5-hour difference. You guys are 5 hours ahead of us. The issue is all this stuff that Judge Bev didn't allow. By the way, there was a lawyer, Colin McAlbert's. Wow, now I'm calling them McAlbert's. Colin Albert's former attorney who represented Colin in court on some misdemeanor crap that he had, got into some beef with me on Twitter. Did I tell you guys this yet? I don't think I have. Oh my God. What's his name? Kennedy?
I honestly don't recall.
Junior something? It was like something Kennedy
Something
Jr.
Kennedy, yeah.
Yeah, it was like no, not Kennedy. He tries to pretend like a JFK, but he's not a Kennedy. He's
his initials are JFK.
Yeah, his initials are
But
JFK.
I don't recall his
See what he does to your brain? He's like, oh, he's not a Kennedy.
Well, his marketing campaign has failed because I don't remember who he is.
Yeah, touche. Joseph Kroski. Yes, that one. Oh my God. Joseph Kroski. He was like, how dare you like accuse this woman, Jennifer. He's talking about Jennifer McCabe. He was defending Jennifer McCabe. I'm like, okay, first of all, just the fact that you're defending her right out of the gate, you're dead to me. That was enough for me. He follows me. Oh my God, he follows me. Colin Albert's lawyer follows me on X. Look, there he is. Follows you. There's the proof. Watch, after this video premieres, he's gonna unfollow, and I don't care. It's forever memorialized. You cannot run from this, buddy. You are forever memorialized on the internet. He's a criminal defense lawyer, personal injury attorney in Brockton, Massachusetts. He was so upset with me calling Judge Bev Auntie Bev. Let's see. Let me find you some tweets. Oh my God, it was so hilarious. He was so upset with me. There it is, right here. The jury. Oh no, that's one of them. That's not the one. Hold on. Jury was asked if they can go home or continue until 4:15. Jury indicated they wanted to continue until 4:15, according to Auntie Bev. She knew she incapacitated him at 4:26. Oh, so people are talking about it. So attorney Joseph Krowski Jr. She called her father approximately 1 a.m., then again twice after 4 a.m. Did not call the Alberts. She knew her had a good idea. She hit him. That's why. Yeah, see, he like supports the McAlberts, the Alberts and the McCabe's. But let me find where he gets into a beef with me. He's got to stick up his ass so far. Oh, there it is. There it is. He's got to stick so far up his ass, he thinks that his shit doesn't stink. I love it. Oh, come on. Where's the... Oh, come on. Don't be lost on me. There it is. Found it. Look at this. Auntie Bev. No, that's not it. Hold on. Her name is not Auntie Bev, and when a real trial lawyer is discussing a particular judge, that's not the way they would address them. I'm as aggressive as anyone, but there are standards of decorum. When you don't respect someone, I'm not going to call them by their official title of judge. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, come on. Where is it? Did he delete it? There's no way. Did he delete it? Oh, bloody hell. There it is. No, that's the same one. Her name is not Auntie Bev. Oh, man. Maybe somebody else can find it. But he did get obviously, as you can see, into an argument with me. I didn't argue back. I don't care. I think one time I responded to him, and then that was the end of it. I'm not his attorney. I was his attorney. By the way, Jackson didn't even mention the name Colin Albert in his closing. Go figure. He is Colin Albert's attorney. So biased. Yeah. Man, I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying so hard to find it for you. But I can't seem, it doesn't seem to be, he may have deleted it. It may have been a little embarrassing for him. He realized and he deleted it. But he basically, here's what it said. It was basically like, I said, Auntie Bev, and he said, you are a practicing, excuse me, I just bit my tongue. You are a practicing attorney, and to call a sitting judge Auntie Bev is not only disrespectful, it's something like, it's just very disrespectful and violates the rules of decorum or something like that. I'm like, are you serious, bro? I don't have an ounce of respect for this woman. That's why I called her that. And that's why I continue calling her that. And that's why I will continue calling her that until the day I die. I found it. Okay, it's from 2 days ago. How do I send this to myself? Here we go. Send via direct message. I had to search through my tweets. I had to do like the search function. Here we go. All right, let me show you guys. Here it is. Oh my God. I remember this. This was on the 28th. This was on Friday. Check this out. I found it. Jury was asked if they want to go home or continue until 4:15. Jury indicated they want to continue until 4:15, according to Auntie Bev. Attorney Joseph Krowski, you're a lawyer and you call a sitting judge Auntie Bev? That is because I do not have an ounce of respect for this woman. Maybe he's gonna tattletale on me, right? It's because he practices in her courtroom, so he's. Yeah. Oh, Emily, thank you, Emily. She found it too. Thank you, Emily. And somebody commented like, so this is my series on you're a disgrace to this profession. I love these people. That is because I do not have an ounce of respect for this woman. And somebody was like, this is what scum looks like. Jennifer McCabe ruined. Have you been listening to courtroom testimony, Ms. McCabe? This video actually did quite well. Oh my God, people are so evil. I refuse to believe this guy is the lawyer. Well, news to you. I actually have almost 50 jury trials under my belt. So who has the last laugh? What kind of lawyer makes videos defaming? I am defaming a mother of four. She's the only person who has been defaming in that courtroom. She's been defaming Karen Reed. So sorry for calling a spade, not sorry at all. Edits them to make her look like a serial killer. Actually, I like the way that it's been edited by my thumbnail maker. Shout out to you, buddy. And titles them Ruining Jennifer McCabe. That's not what it's titled. It's actually titled, Have You Been Listening to Courtroom Testimony, Ms. McCabe? And the thumbnail says Jennifer McCabe ruined, not ruining. She ruined herself using Alan Jackson's cross-examination words. This guy is one sick individual. I love these people. For those of you just joining us who may not know me, yes, I am a real practicing attorney. I have a law firm that I started back in 2013. I've been licensed to practice law in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. This is my my main DUI website right here, with a lot of my verdicts, by the way. These are my jury trials right here. Some of them, of course, not all of them. DUI charges, trials, traffic offenses, assault charges, that sort of thing. This is my website. This is one of them. I have several. Yes, I am a licensed practicing attorney. This is my main website, Foreman and Associates Law. It still has the old image, but yeah, we do car accidents, DUIs, criminal law. I own the misdemeanor and ticket clinic in Kentucky, Foreman and Associates, see it in the top left-hand corner. So yes, for those of you who don't know, like legitimately don't know, yes, I am a licensed attorney. I am a licensed attorney, and I've been licensed for about 11 years now. Alfred Wynn Jr., can there be new discovery, or does all evidence stay exactly the same? Oh, I already answered that. And Brenda says, thanks for diversion, listening, lurking, and dusting. Oh, she says, thanks for the diversion. I am listening, lurking, and dusting. Hey, dusting, somebody's got to do it, you know? Somebody's got to do it. I had a lawyer one time tell me that we don't have a license to practice law. We have a license to print money. I kind of like that, because we kind of do. What is this? What is this? I have some flakes on my black shirt. What, has anybody seen this? What is this? I'm actually going to zoom in on another tab. How about this? Here. U.S. Department of Justice, Executive Office for the United States Attorney, dated August 3rd last year. From Lynn Beeland, to, this is General Counsel for the Department of Justice. So federal, feds. Lynn Beeland. First Assistant DA. Dear Ms. Beeland, this response to your June 21st, 2023 letter concerning your putative request for a recusal of the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts from the pending state criminal matter, Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. As you indicate, the Department of Justice Office of Professional Responsibility informed you that they had referred your May 18th, 2023 letter to my office from whatever action I deem appropriate. Consistent with the terms of the referral from the Office of Professional Responsibility, I contacted Acting State's Attorney Joshua Levy. Based on my understanding from that discussion with USA Levy, his office has a very different opinion of the circumstances in this case than as presented in Mr. Morrissey's letter, which I imagine points that she's the one, Karen Reed is the one who killed John O'Keefe. His office has not reached any official determination whether prosecution is warranted. That's why they had the grand jury in February of this year. But they believe it is essential to continue their investigation given the information of which they are aware. At this time, we see no basis for recusal in this investigation. Holy crap. Wow. Thank you for sharing this, Justice Mom. Thank you for sharing this with me on Twitter. Holy crap. Thank you for your contact information and willingness to provide additional information as needed. Bro. Also, we have another one. Michael Morrissey, Norfolk District Attorney, press release for your consideration. A mistrial has been declared in the matter of Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. Judge Beverly Cannoni set a status conference date of July 22nd at 2 p.m. in Norfolk Superior Court. First, we thank the O'Keefe family for their commitment and dedication to this long process. They maintain sight of the true core of this case to find justice for John O'Keefe. The Commonwealth intends to retry the case. Yeah. Alp says, I think Krowski is the head moderator of the Karen Reed Sanity Anti-Karen Reddit under Snoo Compliment 6210 poster, long-winded and verbose like him. I swear it's him. Very possible. I wouldn't put it past him. People like that have nothing better to do. They don't have like clients or money to be made or nothing. I mean, the same could be said about me. I know I pretty much live on YouTube and Twitter these days. But look, first of all, I'm making money. And second of all, I have an entire team. I still do cases. You think I'm 24/7? We get so many phone calls. While I sat here, by the way, we got like 20 phone calls. And there's probably at least one or two that I'm going to have to probably return phone calls. So yes, I still practice law. Don't get me wrong, at least for the time being. I'm going to continue practicing until YouTube starts making way more money than my day job. So are people asking, what does this mean? Yeah, that banner did say, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. You like that? Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm a little lost. No, I'm not moving. I'm here in Kentucky. What's the question? What does what mean? At this time, we see no basis for a recusal in this investigation. It means the FBI is not stepping down. They don't buy the BS that Morrissey and his team are putting down. That's what. Basically, the FBI is still in as of August 2023. That's why they had a grand jury, a federal grand jury, in February of 2024. Sorry, I thought it was self-explanatory. I apologize. Sometimes my lawyer brain doesn't know how to turn off, and I forget that something doesn't sound, to me, it sounded like absolutely clear. I didn't realize that it's not so clear, so I apologize for that. Does that clear it up? Does that clear it up? Was that the question? It means they're not recusing. The FBI is not stepping down. They are going to continue investigating this. That's what that means. See, as you indicated, the Department of Justice, based on my understanding, no, sorry. They sent a letter on June 21st, so about a year ago, concerning the request to recuse the feds from the Karen Reed case. And they said, nah, from my understanding and the discussion with Assistant U.S. Attorney, or excuse me, United States Attorney Joshua Levy, not assistant, the acting U.S. Attorney, Joshua Levy. His office has a very different opinion of the circumstances in this case than is presented in Mr. Morrissey's letter. So basically, the FBI is still on. Yeah, I see, and sometimes I forget. We have other countries here, and we have Scotland, we have England, we have Germany, we have New Zealand, we have Australia. So yes, basically, let me just give you the TLDR version of how the FBI investigation works and why it's happening in the first place. So you have John O'Keefe, okay? John O'Keefe is a Boston cop whose body was found on 34 Fairview. Boston police cannot investigate his death because it's obvious, right? They're kind of too close to him. They wouldn't be able to do an unbiased investigation because they care about the guy. He worked for them. It's too personal. So instead, and because, you know, there was a first responder, 34 Fairview at Canton police. So Canton was recused, Boston was recused. They had to bring in Massachusetts State Police. Enter Michael Proctor. Michael Proctor investigates the case. Now, what they don't know, and we know now what they didn't know at the time, is Michael Proctor is inextricably tied to the Alberts and the McCabe's, okay? Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, he's buddy-buddy with them. They babysit his kids. They're friends. They send flowers. They send gifts. They send everything, right? So Michael Proctor, they just got luck of the draw. Massachusetts State Police trooper investigates this case. He is he's another branch of police, right? You have 3 branches in every city for the most part. You have the state troopers, you have the local sheriffs, and you have the local police. Those are the 3, okay? So that's just state level. That's local and state. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, it's in the name, federal, right? They are an arm that is outside all of that. They don't work for Boston Police. They don't work for Canton. They don't work for Massachusetts State Police. They can choose if they smell that something is rotten and there's corruption going on, that they feel they need to step in, they can come in, conduct their own investigation, come to their own conclusions, and actually start their own case. They can charge anybody with anything so long as they have evidence. And remember, the FBI, think P. Diddy. Did he do it? Remember P. Diddy? They did not swoop. They swooped into both homes simultaneously on both sides of the country. One in Miami, one in Los Angeles, right? There's a reason for that. The FBI never acts until they have 110% confirmation. So the minute they have like 110%, we got this, we're moving in, folks, let's go. That is when you're going to have to start seeing actual indictments. And escaping a federal indictment and getting away from a federal indictment, unless it's for something stupid like drug possession or something like that, which I say stupid, it's not that stupid, but like, you know, we're talking like hundreds of pounds of weed or something, or like I have a case right now. I won't reveal whom, of course, but there was a lot of marijuana products found. And we were concerned, not concerned, I shouldn't say that word. We were wondering if he's going to be federally indicted. Now, the funny part is I've left a lot of messages to the Kentucky Bureau of Investigation, and they're refusing, the Kentucky branch of the FBI, and they're refusing to return my phone calls. They refuse to cooperate, which leads me to believe that they're not interested in federally indicting my client, nor should they. It's just weed. It's a lot. It's a lot of weed, don't get me wrong, but it's just weed. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is the feds can swoop in, they can come in, and they can indict anybody for any reason at any time. But the problem is, remember, the reason they've been so quiet is because they're sitting patiently, they're listening, they're gathering evidence, they're consulting with federal prosecutors such as, what's his name? Joshua Levy. By the way, Joshua Levy is, as I understand, he is the United States Attorney in Massachusetts. He's the elected United States Attorney in Massachusetts. He's not an assistant, okay? He is the one who was selected, because I don't think they're voted in on the federal level. They're selected. And so the feds had a grand jury, and now they're determining whether or not to indict. And once you're indicted, it's all over. It's going to be all over for Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, Michael Proctor, and Brian Higgins at the very least. At the very least. So today, it is what it is, like it or not. It's over. Until then, folks, I need a break. I need a break from this. I need to prepare for Alec Baldwin next week. Alec Baldwin, I'll see you guys in Santa Fe, New Mexico. New video premiering in 55 minutes. Bye, everybody.